What's up, fellas? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm freaking fired up. Week 1 of college football starts tonight. We're joined right off the top by my guy, T-Bob Hebert. Let's get into it. Let's freaking go, T-Bob. We've been waiting on this shit all year, and it's finally here. And I'm just on the moon. It starts tonight. We got some couple interesting games tonight. We got 3 top 10 matchups this weekend. Awesome storylines. What a freaking time to be alive. How we doing?
Ben, it's incredible, and I'm sorry. I know my audio or my quality are now on the edge of getting home. I will be on Wi-Fi. We'll be good to go. I'm in my neighborhood. But you said it best, bro. It is long in the season. Football did a great job of realizing that there is no NFL right now. Meaning, we get 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 days straight featuring at least one like legitimately interesting college football game. It is truly, truly a fantastic Thursday. I mean, we're 30 minutes away, dude. It's almost here.
Hell yeah. And some stuff I want to get to this weekend. My first, going back to our old stomping grounds, this is my first New Orleans trip since the Super Bowl. That's the longest break I've had in a long time. I'm going to be rocking on the sidelines with John Summerall and Tulane Saturday morning or 11 a.m. kickoff against Northwestern. I got World Series of Poker at Harris, Caesars now this weekend too. Can't wait to get back. I got reservations at Clancy's for lunch tomorrow and Atchafalaya Sunday.
Ooh.
Think I'm bringing back the Mintzy video log too. So super excited about getting
Mintzy. You perfect weekend plan, dude. That is absolutely fantastic, man. I am incredibly jealous. That Tulane resting too, man. What do you think? You think Summerall and the boys are going to get it done?
Yeah, so interesting stuff with that game. Tulane 5.5-point favorite. Northwestern's got a former 5-star quarterback in Preston Stone who got beat out by Jennings at SMU making his debut. They got a good receiver in Whaley, but they don't have much else. Tulane, I believe in Jake Retzloff. They're acting like it's a quarterback competition. Give me a freaking break. Retzloff went 10-2 at BYU last year. He ain't sitting behind some dude from Ball State. There's no way in hell. All right. I do think Tulane's going to get it done. They always have a good D-line. That's the one thing that makes them unique in the G5, that they have like an SEC-level D-line. They're saying this is their best unit. Summerall is a fiery coach. I think they come out and get it done. Weather could be it's like 60% rain in NOLA Saturday, and you know how that goes. Sometimes that can definitely affect things down there. But I like Tulane. I'm a bet on them.
Hell yeah, man. And then what's your we got to talk about the big three, dude.
Let's
Three
do it.
top 10 matchups this weekend. The most in the history of college football, according to the Athletic. And I mean, of course, right? I mean, literally 6 of the top 10 teams in the country going to be going toe to toe.
Yeah, all right, we'll start at the top of Texas, Ohio State. Watch the Fox Big Noon Saturday. Obviously, no lack of drama with our boss man, Stool Presidente, this week on that front. Can't wait to see that show and everything that entails. Texas, a 1.5-point underdog. I'm just going to hit you with my opinion on this game, and let me see what you say.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
All right, I got strong opinion. I really like Texas in this game. I know they're public. Let me tell you, I'll tell you exactly why. I think Ohio State losing Jim Knowles, who is a top 3 defensive coordinator, going to Penn State, which is a weird deal. I think Matt Patricia is a dog shit hire. I think that's a terrible hire. He doesn't know the college game. He runs a very complicated scheme that I don't know it even fits in college football. You're dealing with RPOs. When you got athletes like Ohio State does, you say see ball, go get ball. And I don't know that his scheme fits that. I think that's a big downgrade. And when you look at the other side of the ball, Ohio State's replacing Chip Kelly. They promote Brian Hartline, who's one of the best receivers coaches in the country, but I don't know how he's going to be as an OC. You got 2 new coordinators. You got Julian Sayin, who's talented, but he's only been in there a year starting his first game. And on the other side, yeah, Arch Manning hadn't started a ton of games. It's been a couple. He's been in that system 2.5 freaking years. If you know anything about the Mannings, they're patient. And Steve Sarkisian is one of the best play callers in college football. And Texas is a revenge game from the Cotton Bowl. I think they go in there, they get it done by 7-10. I think Ohio State's got too much turnover.
Wow, 7-10 in the shoe. So I wrestled with this game for a long time, and really the elements I was weighing. It's like, look, yes, Texas lost a lot, Ohio State lost a lot. Okay, They're both at the where they reload, they whatever replace, they don't reload, right? Like they don't rebuild or whatever. So I kind of have that as a bit of a wash in terms of talent. They're basically equal. Then I'm like, okay, well, home field advantage is big for Ohio State, so that's a mark in their favor. To your point, although technically Arch and Sayin are both first-time starters, Arch does have a big experiential advantage over Sayin, right? So those are two elements that I was weighing against one another for a while. And then I thought about this, and this kind of pushed me over the top to agree with you fully, Texas. Now, I don't know if I think it's going to be as decisive, maybe a 7-10. But I mean, whatever. I guess it's one score. But for me, it's this. It is really, really hard to follow up a national championship. There's a reason why Nick Saban is singular, right? Fed cats get lazy. They don't hunt. Like, and you can do everything that you want to do to try to fight against it, but it is something. I mean, this is something like I'm not taking it to baseball, but that Jay Johnson talked about after winning his first national championship at LSU was that next season was the hardest that he has ever done, and that's a common refrain from a lot of first-time winning Natty head coaches. So I think the final piece of the puzzle to me is Ohio State off the national championship, whereas Texas is the complete opposite. Back-to-back Final Fours, 2-decade championship route. You got Anthony Hill there in the middle, maybe the best defensive player in the entire SEC on the edge. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. I think both quarterbacks are going to have their work cut out for them, but I do have Texas winning a close one on the road in the end.
All right. Well, yeah, I think Arch is a huge upgrade over Quinn Ewers, too. Very big. And, yeah, so we're on the same page on that one. We'll do Notre Dame, Miami, and then we'll really hit LSU Clemson. All right, Notre Dame, Miami, Sunday night. Shout out you and I's friend Taylor McGregor on the sideline for Notre Dame, Miami. I can't wait to see.
She killed the Aer Lingus. She did great in the Week 0 game.
Yeah, oh yeah. She kills it. But this game, a lot of interesting stuff on this one. Gambling-wise, I'm so pissed about this. I was talking about this under 54 for months. This was like my favorite play because Notre Dame's breaking a new quarterback, and they like to run the ball and grind. They don't like try to run up scores. And Miami lost Cam Ward and Carson Beck's in his first game, and there's all these – I really love this under. T-Bob, the under went from 54 to 49.5. I mean, 4.5-point move. I can't even take it anymore. You can't take it because, like, even if my pick's right, I missed the party. Nobody's better than the spread. I'm not in on it. It was Tuesday when I was going to place my bet. I saw it. But you can't chase the money because even if my opinion's strong, nothing's stronger than the damn line moving 4.5 points with our friends at DraftKings. So that pissed me off. And
strong your opinion was how on point you was concerning this game. I find I have a very simple read in this game, and it comes down to culture. Football inherently is a game of toughness. We look at the chip ratio and talent acquisition, like the amount of talent on a roster, right? Miami has consistently underperformed for about a decade now. I don't see any reason to start believing in Mario Cristobal now. And I think their culture's bad. I think they're not tough. And Notre Dame's the inverse. I think they have a great, tough, excellent defense and elite offensive line. Heisman Trophy candidate, that running back. So I think Notre Dame goes into Miami, which is not that much of a home field advantage, even if this is a better crowd than normally. I think the Irish. I'm also not a Carson Beck believer. Like, people want to act like, oh, well, look how good they did with Cam Ward. Ward was, and they knew that immediately. That's why Cam Ward ended up being the number one pick in the draft. His interviews were incredible. He's got the intangibles that Carson Beck does not. So Beck might be okay, but I don't see how this Miami team would be better after Lord losing all their top receivers and replacing them with guys that aren't as good.
No, I agree. I think the offense takes a big step back. And the question for Miami, they hired the Minnesota defensive coordinator. Their defense couldn't stop anybody last year. I mean, if you watched them play, you couldn't believe how out of place and slow they were because we're talking about the friggin' Miami Hurricanes. You know, you think they'd have athletes out there. So the question is how much they improve. I think Notre Dame wins, but I'm not going to gamble on it. They're a 2.5-point favorite. It's kind of a ratty line. Notre Dame also has a terrible history playing at Miami. But, it's like how much does that matter because those games were forever ago. So I don't know. So that one, that
This
under,
Miami is not the Miami of the past. The Miami of the past may have been some of the single toughest football teams that have ever been assembled. This Miami is built on NIL money and missed expectations, and I'm just really not.
yeah, I don't know about how they're a top 10 team preseason either, to be honest. I mean, I know they won 10 games last year, but like they only won because of Cam Ward. I mean, they were winning 45-41 every week, having to outscore everybody. They couldn't stop anybody. They won because they had the number one pick of the draft.
It's a Miami tale as old as time, though. It's because, like, look, I'm a big believer in blue chip ratio, not as like the end all be all. For those that don't know what it is, it's just a percentage of blue chippers on your roster, right? And Miami consistently on paper looks as if they should be a top 10 team in the country, but they have also consistently failed to meet that expectation. So I'm completely fine with sitting here and doubting them and saying to them, "Hey, prove me wrong and I'll gladly eat it." But like I'm not going to sit here and give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, that's what I think too. All right. Let's talk about this LSU Clemson game because God, I love getting to talk football with you. This is so full circle. We go back 11 years, 12 years. This is getting to do this for Barstool just pumps me up. All right, a lot of stuff to get into here. Clemson's like a 3.5, 4-point favorite. My biggest thing, I'll just hit it. You're an offensive line guy. I mean, you started 3 years at LSU. LSU lost Will Campbell and Emory Jones at tackle. Clemson is one of the top front sevens in the country. Can they block them? Period. Can they do it?
I mean, no, I mean that's the problem. I mean that's the problem, right? And this is something I said on Roughness, but I'll repeat it here. Is like I don't even know if I need whatever. I want LSU to win this game, obviously, right? Like LSU is the single team in my life that I feel the most emotion for. This is something I always think about. What other form of entertainment causes you to feel the rise and fall of emotions in the same way that watching your favorite college football team does? Like nothing for me. Like if it's not like a kid's day, some great human interaction, family member, something, this is the most alive that I feel all year. And so I want LSU to win. I would be ecstatic. I'd be over the moon. It would make me the happiest boy in the entire world. But if we're just being objective and trying to predict, I need someone to show me why they expect LSU to win. Because from where I sit, well, I think this LSU team is elite. I think they'll fight for championships this year. I think they'll make the playoff. This Clemson team is damn near perfect, and especially good where you're weak. And it starts right there, the offensive line. You're going to be working in a new offensive line on the road, tough environment, not going to be able to hear, and you're going to get to a top 3 front 7 in the entire country. Oh, and they added Will Help from Purdue. They added 5-star Mark. Like it's out of control. And then the other thing is, like, defense spin. Well, I love Blake Baker. Love the strides taken last year. Love the emergence of Whit Weeks. Really excited to see Perkins at the star. D-line looks strong. Love adding Pyburn. Love adding Peyton from Florida State. Like I love all of this. But it's still not proven that this defense is actually good. And again, this Clemson offense, we know is good. They have a great young receiving core that came online at the end of last year. Klubnik was a beast. It's just, again, I think like an avenue to LSU winning would be like a shootout, right? Because that probably means that that's the style of game they'd have to win this one in. I just don't know if I see it, man. Right now, Pro Football Focus does their unit ranking. So they rank the top 10 teams for each unit. Clemson has top 10 offensive line, defensive line, quarterback, receiver room, linebackers, secondary. It's literally running back and tight end, in which they are not top 10 in the country. So, and it's on the road. So again, I think Clemson wins. I hate it. I hope to hell I am wrong. But that's my read on the game.
Yeah, I've got Clemson winning a close one with no opinion on the spread. And I'm actually I've been talking about this play all offseason. If Clemson does win close, I'm going to wait till the LSU SEC odds change next week and then get in on it, because right now it's 7-1, and I'm hoping if they lost close, it goes to like 10-1, and then I'm buying in. That's my.
It's smart. That's a heady play, because this game will not. I mean, again, I chose LSU to win the SEC and lose this game. So, like, because I think LSU will get better. Like, maybe if they would play Clemson again later and it wasn't this offensive line's first game together, I would believe a bit more. Also, I mean, there's the incredibly depressing fact that LSU's lost 5 season openers in a row, and all 5 years I've chosen them. So maybe I'm even doing some, like, reverse psychology, try not to pick the football so Lucy can pull it type shit here. I'm not even entirely sure where my bias begins or ends, but no, but don't get it twisted, dude. Don't let the LSU Tigers get a win on Saturday.
You're in a spot where if
insufferable.
LSU comes in there and gets this win, I mean, they're off and running like top 5 immediately, rolling this year. I mean, a win here.
I've played in games like this. In 2011, my senior year, we played
Oregon. Wasn't that the Oregon game?
Was ranked number 3. We were ranked 5. And so we played a top 5 matchup. And this was pre-playoff where one loss and you were cooked. And so it felt like everything was on the line. And when I tell you, Ben, you're exactly right. That win gave us, because we ended up kicking their ass, that win gave us so much confidence. It was like a metaphorical springboard into, we're badass and we can beat the fuck out of anyone. And then we did that entire year until the Natty. But like it was, so yes, if LSU wins this game, not just is it great for things like resume and breaking the 5-game losing streak, and Brian Kelly desperately needs it, but for the team itself, it can provide them with a self-belief that can have an actual effect, like on the field with results.
No, I agree, and I can't. Looking forward to seeing the LSU receiving corps. Just can they? Yeah, like I said, it just comes down to can they block them. I mean, that's literally it. Because if they give us time with that receiving corps, he'll tear it up. Also, can they get some semblance of a running game? Because last year that was a huge problem, and you can't imagine it's going to be better without 2 stud tackles. So there's just too many questions for me. I can't take LSU here because of this stuff. It's just too many questions.
Again, LSU's like an elite team with a couple questions. Clemson's an elite team with no questions. Like it's a tiny difference, but it's an important difference. And I also would maybe, if you're an LSU fan, I would maybe guard yourself against making too many sweeping conclusions after this game. Just because, again, matchup-wise, there's some unfortunate breaks here that can either get improved upon with more time on time or won't be relevant or pop up in 90% of the games you'll play. Like, you may not be able to run the ball against Clemson, but you could still have a good running game by year's end.
Yeah, I've said all year, I think the Florida LSU game week 3 in Death Valley is more important. That's the one we're going to really find out, because if they win that game, SEC's in front of them, but losing that one, that especially at home. So
and
we'll
I like
see.
Florida, dude. Florida, speaking of a team, that's a top 5 O-line and D-line. I love Lagway. The schedule's impossible, which I think is probably their biggest enemy. And I know a lot of people still doubt Napier, but I don't know. I'm wondering if maybe I overcorrected on Napier too hard. He was you got
to give him credit, beating LSU and Ole Miss at the end of the year. I mean, that was
what I'm saying.
My question with him is just
chances.
Can Lag? I just don't know about his health. He had hamstring and shoulder surgeries this offseason, so that's my question.
He's pretty thickly built, but I know. Whatever. You're right. Florida's not playing anybody this weekend. There's a lot of games we can talk about.
All right, other quick rapid fire was to hit. Tonight, I'm taking South Florida money line plus 170 against Boise State. Interesting game. Boise off a playoff. No Ashton Genty. Weird long trip to Tampa. It should be a little hot in Florida. I got that. That's my only play. I'm trying to gamble wise this year on DraftKings. I make my picks. I make them public. I'm switching my style. I'm going selective aggressive. I'm not doing this pick 8 games crap. I'm picking only the ones I like. I'm going to track it. I'm going to have my record, all that. So tonight, that's my only play, South Florida money line. But I'm going to try to be selective all year.
Yeah, look, I'm in complete agreement. That's what I chose as my underdog money line, and it's everything you said. Byron Brown was so good. South Florida's quarterback in 23 last year. He gets hurt. Can he get back to form? We know he's at least healthy for this game. And the other element, and though to be fair, if you're gonna take the pick, I have not looked this up, but just from what I know of the South, I cannot fathom being a Boise State player and going down to play in Florida in the afternoon and the effect that that's going to have on you in that first half. So, like, maybe if you want to play like a first half line, if you don't believe in South Florida full game, I'm with you. And like, I know, like, people tell you, yes, Genty's gone, but they still got Maddox, and like they're replacing Genty with good running backs. But I mean, I just don't think you can lose the best running back in the entire country and be a better team. It's just such a gaping void from what you had last year, no matter how good the backup is.
I also think, even though, like, I know you talked about how hard it is to repeat as national champions, how hard is it to repeat an undefeated season? I mean,
Yeah,
I think it's kind of almost in the same vein a little bit. Some other ones I want to touch on: Auburn at Baylor Friday. I've been talking all week. I love Baylor. 10 returning starters on offense. I'm a big fan of Sawyer Robertson. I think this is a tricky game for Auburn. Jackson Arnold's first game starting after a bad year. You're on the road, sold-out game in Waco. Baylor's a 2.5-point underdog. I'm taking them Friday night. What do you think about this one?
you are. So we were talking earlier in the office, and this is your kind of most exciting game of the week, and I think you absolutely nailed it. This is a game, especially one that isn't featuring like the heavy. I don't know that you could find one with more intrigue. This is such a massive game for the Big 12 because Baylor looks like a real potential Big 12 favorite. Like you said, I think they're ninth in the country returning production. They were already good last year. They got better as the season went on last year. They really came online. There's reason to believe Sawyer Robertson, that offense, will be even better than last year. But they're going against an Auburn team that is objectively just like talented than them. Like, and again, just at who they make up, what they got in the back-to-back top 10 recruiting classes. Auburn's receiving room is probably one of the top of the entire country. So it's like, if one of the, but I still think Auburn's kind of a middle tier SEC team. So it's two kind of conversations at play. If Baylor can't beat Auburn and Auburn ends up middle of the pack, like, what does that mean for the overall kind of competitiveness of the Big 12? But also, if Hugh Freeze can't beat a Baylor team that he is more talented than, with 2 years of top 10 classes and with great transfer portal classes and with a quarterback and weapons, and like, what belief could you possibly have in Freeze? So there's a lot on the line for both of those teams in Waco.
Yeah, it's just my thing. I come back to the continuity thing, though. This is for Arnold having to start his first game and then Baylor having everybody back. I mean, I don't know. I like Baylor in that one. Some other quick ones Saturday before we let you go. Do you think Southern Miss has a shot against Mississippi State? How worried's Brandon been about this one?
Brandon's been terrified of him the entire time. Of course, he's that's in the context of losing to Toledo badly to start last season. So, like, once you've experienced that, of course, an in-state rival who's scrappy, who isn't Southern Miss, is that where the entire Marshall team transferred?
Yes, and their coach and entire team. And then the thing is, too, they're playing this game in Hattiesburg. I don't know why State scheduled this. This is the old. It's one team. The old. It's always dicey when it's one team Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what this
exactly.
is.
So, I mean, funnily enough, I'll just tell you what Brandon's saying. Brandon's been saying he's more worried about this game than he is against Arizona State.
Yeah, I could see a world where State,
I think at the end of the day, I'm still enough of a Levy believer and a Shapen believer where I think Mississippi State takes a slight step forward this year, and I think they beat this Southern Miss team.
Okay. I'm looking at taking, so the Mintzy, I'll just announce what the Mintzy bomb is. I'm going to do a once-a-week 3-team underdog money line parlay on DraftKings. Oh. I went Baylor money line, Texas money line, Southern Miss first half money line. Don't know that they can win the game.
Okay.
But I think they come out fired up.
I can absolutely see that.
It's just going to be a little over 14-1 on DraftKings. So that's the first Mintzy bomb of the year.
Damn, that would be a big hit, dude. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then last game to touch on before I let you go, Bama, Florida State. I don't have a lot. Like, This one's got, I don't know what's year 2 for DeBoer look like. How will Ty Simpson play? On the Florida State side, they get a mobile quarterback in Thomas Castellanos. The most interesting they did was hire Gus Malzahn to be their offensive coordinator. He's obviously got a lot of experience against Bama. Florida State's only chance is if Castellanos runs wild on them and Bama has trouble with mobile quarterback. That's their only chance this game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm just not a Florida State believer right now. I don't like Castellanos that much. Again, I like to be proven wrong when I doubt guys, but how he handled the Boston College situation, quitting on his teammates, giving Bama bulletin board material.
Yeah.
And speaking of overcorrection, Mincy, look, I don't believe in Ty Simpson. And I understand, it's weird because Bama fans for the last 2 years hating on Jalen Milroe. Now they're trying to convince us that they'll be better with the guy that couldn't beat out Jalen Milroe. But all that said, I fear we may have overcorrected on Bama a bit too much. They're still objectively the second most talented roster in the entire country, and they're being ranked 8th. People are talking about them losing 3 games. I don't know. I think if that's the case, because I think Hebert is a really good coach. If that ends up coming to pass, then quite simply the shoes of Nick Saban were just too big to fill. Because you should be able to dominate and win with the roster that Kalen DeBoer has right now.
Well, I think the other key factor for Alabama people aren't talking about, Ryan Grubbs was his OC at Washington, was elite with Penix. Yep. He was a Seahawks OC last year, but he gets him back. And I think that, that could really help the development of Ty Simpson, having his guy back.
Be big. I mean, they go beyond your traditional head coach OC partnership, right? They've been there multiple stops together ever since Fresno. DeBoer's taken pay cuts at times to keep Grubb around. So, yes, he truly has his right-hand man back. And we'll see, because honestly, I was a bit uninspired and unimpressed with that Bama offense at times last year with Milroe. So maybe this is where they crack back through.
All right, and last thing I'm going to leave you with, T-Bob, I've got a just standard idiot story for me to share that happened to me today. So I had a flight booked for New Orleans, 7:45 p.m. tonight. I looked down at my phone this morning, and it said, your flight is canceled. You missed your flight. I booked it for 7:45 a.m. and didn't know it. So I looked down, and I'm like, oh, shit. So now I got to rebook New Orleans, and I'm having to pay for another flight tomorrow. So now I got to fly Spirit Air because it was like $200. But in the classic story for me, all my boys that you're friends with, too, that through me, my whole NOLA crew's up here in Chicago to go to Oasis at Soldier Field tonight. Oasis hadn't played in 15 years. And we make lemonade out of lemons. I got one of my buddies has an extra free ticket. Now I'm going to Oasis tonight.
Are you going to Oasis tonight?
Yeah. So I missed my flight, and I'm telling myself that my flight tomorrow is what I'm paying for my Oasis ticket. So it's the old failing
dude,
upward.
That's awesome, man. There you go.
Yeah.
Lemons
so now my flight.
That is the most classic Ben Mintz story that I've ever heard in my entire life. You want to say what's up to Quad Bob?
What's up, Quad Bob?
Say what's up,
what's up, Quad Bob? All right, well, T-Bob, thanks, bud. Appreciate you. Check out Wake Up Barstool. Great name, by the way. No playoff.
I know, right? Wake Up Mintzy laid the groundwork for Wake Up Barstool.
Yeah. We walked so they could run. That's for sure. We all have a great weekend. I'll be doing a lot of NOLA. Yeah, we'll do. Take it easy, T-Bob. Thanks. Shout out Stella Blue and Dude Wipes. Have a good weekend, fellas.
Mitch, jump back on your.
Yeah. Okay. Jump back on.
Yeah, let's finish this up. Chat was going to give you the business if we didn't talk about this trade real quick. So,
let's do it.
Huge trade. Cowboys just sent away Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers, 2 first-round picks, and a frontline player. What's your reaction?
What player? What was the player?
I haven't seen it yet. I was looking for it, trying to find it. I haven't seen what the player was, but it's 2 first and a frontline player. What's your reaction to Jerry Jones sending away one of, if not the best players in the entire league?
Wow. I'm trying to process it real quick. My thing with it, obviously, he offered him the biggest deal in the history of a non-quarterback, and Micah Parsons said, no, some things are about more than money. And Jerry Jones took that as a slap in the face, and so he said, we got to get rid of him because of it. 2 firsts, but if he got 2 firsts and a frontline guy, I get the logic. However, my Cowboys, bounce back season theory on the playoffs, I'm yanking immediately because that defense without Micah Parsons, you saw it last year when he was hurt. Totally different defense. Losing one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, if not the best. Guy who just can't be blocked and creates matchup nightmares and makes everybody better. But I will say, if they got 2 first-round picks and a frontline guy, they got good value. However, I will say Green Bay's always good. So you're talking about late first-round picks. I mean, Green Bay, you're never getting a top 15 pick out of them.
Yeah,
but
I couldn't agree more.
I think they got good value, though. 2 firsts and a player is pretty good.
The irony of this entire thing is Jerry Jones right now on Netflix has an 8-part series based around him and how good of a negotiator he is. He was unable to get a deal done with Micah Parsons. Instead, he turns around trading away the face of the defense, really and truly probably the face of the team right now because of all this work that Micah Parsons is doing in social media. This is a huge blow for the Cowboys, no doubt about it. Once again, Jerry looks like a moron. Cowboys fans are pissed. Every single day I become less of a Cowboys fan. And good for Michael Parsons. 4 years, $188 million. The deal with the Packers, that's already locked in. So good get for Green Bay.
Huge get for Green Bay. Already thought they had a chance to win the NFC North. Now, Mike could argue they're the number 2, behind the Eagles. You got to say they're probably the number 2 team in the NFC after this deal. I mean, I think it's that big.
By the way, shout out to Kenny Clark or to Billy Mitchell. He said Kenny Clark is who's being sent over.
Kenny Clark's a very good defensive tackle, and that'll help Dallas up front a lot. I mean, he definitely is, former first-round pick. Really solid guy, but he's going to help Dallas up the middle in the run D, and he's a good penetrator. But I mean, he can't impact a game like Micah Parsons. Nobody can.
No one can. So you're done with the Cowboys this year. You're pulling the plug on your Cowboys.
My Cowboys playoff take. I didn't say they were going to win the division, but I said 10-7 and a wild card, and I'm going back to 8-9 off this. I think it's like literally Micah Parsons being healthy is that big of an impact on the defense. And this kind of almost signals a rebuild a little bit, getting the 2 firsts. And
to a degree, it absolutely does. And I will say one thing that I think it impacts is Dak's fantasy value because the Cowboys probably not going to have as good of a pass rush. They give up more points defensively. The Cowboys have to be in more shootouts. I actually think this is a plus for the Cowboys, receivers and running backs as far as the fantasy value is concerned. Real world value, the Cowboys took a huge hit here.
Huge.
Fantasy side, I think the Cowboys players did actually get an upgrade. So
we'll say, though,
there's a positive to look at it.
2 firsts and Kenny Clark is pretty good value. It isn't like they got fleeced on this deal. I mean, I know you're losing a franchise guy, and I definitely make him downgrade, but it wasn't like you just sold him off and didn't get proper value.
No, I just think the irony of it all is Jerry talking about being this great negotiator in this Netflix series right now and stuff, and then not being able to get a deal done with a guy that means a whole lot to the franchise. And so it's this. You're right. I guess this somewhat does lead to a rebuild. The interesting thing for this will be where do the Packers finish over the next couple seasons? Where do those first-round picks fall? Could be a great deal for Dallas in the end. If the Cowboys make the most of it and the Cowboys draft fairly well, it's one thing I will say. They do a good job drafting. They could get good value out of this in the long run.
When's the last time Green Bay picked in the top 10, though? I mean, they're always
been
good.
A while.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You got to think you're getting 2 firsts, but you got to think you're getting 2 picks in the 20s. Green Bay's already really good, and they had one of the best pass rushers in football, and they got a great culture. I mean, they're always good. I don't see any reason why you can expect this to be top 15 picks at all. I mean,
unless Love gets hurt. If Jordan Love gets hurt, he's obviously dealt with a lot of injuries. He misses some games, so that will be the one thing. If he gets injured, maybe their season goes to shit and they end up with a top 10 pick. Probably not going to happen, obviously. But I'll tell you one thing, Vince. That Packers defense was really good for a big portion of last season. To put Micah Parsons on there now, they could have one of the best defenses in the entire NFL. So Green Bay just got a huge upgrade today. Cowboys taking a big step back. Obviously, we'll see how it all plays out this season. But you got to love it for the Packers.
You do, and I'd make Green Bay the favorite in the NFC North now. I mean, with Detroit already losing Ben Johnson, I think Green Bay. I would say Green Bay's the favorite.
T says Jerry Jones got to be on the way out the door now, but Stephen Jones doesn't seem much more competent.
They're not doing it. Yeah, I mean, they're keeping that in the family. They'll never sell the Cowboys. Never.
Yeah, just as look, Jerry Jones and what he's done with his team is the reason I've become less and less of a Cowboys fan every single year. It just happens. Like this trade, I feel nothing about it. I really don't. And so it's just I mean, I'm honestly not surprised at this point, to be honest.
Yeah. Wow. What a bombshell, though, at the end of the show. Damn.
For sure. Yeah, I was trying to text you. Chat said we had to talk about it, so I was trying to jump on.
Yeah. Enjoyed having T-Bob on, as always. He's killing it at Barstool, just like I knew he would, just like everybody knew he would that knew him before. And I'm looking forward to seeing him on Wake Up Barstool. Moody, I'm freaking pumped about NOLA. And I got a trip, so I leave in the morning now. Did you hear that story I told about me having the flight thing? Did you get that?
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me that you did that, by the way.
But I ended up getting the Oasis ticket, so now I'm going to the show. But I'm excited. I'm playing a couple World Series of Poker events down there this weekend. Going to be on the sideline at Tulane Northwestern. Going to be filming for bringing the travel video log back. And then I'm actually part of something super exciting in Foxwoods. DraftKings sponsoring the first Barstool Poker Tournament, 18-man on Tuesday. We're partnered up with Poker Go. Should be great content. Got a shot to win some real money. And then I'm on the call the Dave versus Nate heads up matchup that's 12 years in the making on Wednesday. So this ought to be a hell of a fun trip. So I'm super excited about it. And then when I get back next Thursday, it's NFL opening night. So, I mean,
best week of the year. I got my fantasy championships next week for fantasy baseball. Hopefully I'll be there trying to take care of business this week. And then we got drafts this weekend. I have 5 drafts this weekend alone. So I've got a full weekend of just drafting fantasy teams. So I'm excited for this weekend, and then obviously we get going next week.
Yep, and check out the Fantasy Football Factory pod if you're getting ready for your fantasy drafts. We've had a quarterback preview, running back preview, and we just got our wide receiver tight ends preview out. So Moody, Shay, and I doing it on that. Well, did anything else from chat? Are we good?
No, I think that's about it. They just really want us to talk about that, so we appreciate the boys letting us know what was going on, and Micah Parsons.